2. This week on the program, with everything that happened in the last 2 weeks, allegations against Andrew "I Kiss Everyone" Cuomo turning out to be true, Joe Biden's chin, healthcare workers not getting the vaccine, and Governor Ron DeSantis being the future president that he is. Let's just slow down a bit and ask the real question on our minds today. Why hasn't anyone come out with a beer called COVID-19? That way you can tell people you have a case of COVID and a 100% chance of getting fucking drunk. Later, do you automatically dismiss political arguments because they heard it on Fox News? Maybe the thought of Fox News spreading lies, hate, bigotry, white supremacy, and flat-out misinformation makes you feel like vomiting? Well, you may have fallen victim to the Fox fallacy. Finally, the jury is out on how America feels about COVID restrictions, and the results break down into 5 groups. Which group will you fall into? All this and a whole lot more. Your emergency exit is right this way.
Emergencies only.
That's right. How are y'all doing there
yeah.
in movie land? It is 10 o'clock again.
Jeez.
That is right. This is episode 214. 214, my goodness.
that's
Today
crazy.
is August 6, 2021. We are broadcasting live at K-Brand Studio in our floating tin can. Far above the world. Oh, not bad. Otto, es todo, Otto.
Hey, bro, you know me, man. Been practicing with Keith Sweat. Me and Keith Sweat been doing Skype calls lately.
That's right. I am Los. You could follow me on TikTok at That's Right Los. Joining me as always is exactly David Aguilar. You can follow him on all sorts of stuff. Meek Monster and Ariel Austin.
Yes, that too.
And let's see. Making sure that we're streaming live. Do we look crisper to y'all?
Still not Juror 50.
It's my boy. Still not Juror 52. Brandon, the hard hat Mitchell.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
You can
Bro.
follow him on TikTok at Emergency Exit
Yes,
Pod.
There you go.
That's right. Everyone's got a TikTok because
Bra-
that's all we do now.
Brandon looks a little tanner.
He does look a little
Yeah,
tanner, like a
it's-
little more Danny Tanner,
Yeah,
if you will.
Yeah, it's July, August, fellas, working outside in that sun.
Were you in Miami with Trump?
No, I was in Virginia with I don't know who's from
I don't know what the
Virginia.
fuck is over here.
Who's from Virginia? I blanked.
George Washington?
Sure, why not?
Oh no, he's hanging out with Ralph Northam.
Oh, there
Trying
you
to-
go.
he was
there
trying
it
to get
is.
down to was he the one with the blackface or was he the
that's
one
true.
with the KKK outfit?
Yeah, he still doesn't remember.
Still up in the air. Still up in the air.
Anyways,
Undecided.
We should take a poll on Instagram or something. See who.
See which one
Yeah.
he was.
I would guess which one is the worst? I mean, which one would you rather? Like,
Would you rather?
That's a perfect would you rather.
Yeah.
Would you rather
That is a
be
good
caught doing blackface or being caught wearing a
You go first.
clan? I think I'd rather get caught wearing blackface. I think.
Okay.
Because at least you could say like, dude, like it all depends on the thing. Like
Uh-huh.
if I was wearing blackface and I sang like something like that was really good, it all depends. If you do
Yeah.
it shittily,
Yeah.
they're gonna be like,
I know what you
that
mean.
was disrespectful and you
Like,
you shouldn't have done that.
The perfect blackface, and you could agree or disagree with me, but the perfect blackface was "It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia," the Lethal Weapon 5 or 6.
Well, I can't believe they-
that's the way you do blackface.
We talked about that, and they pulled that from Hulu.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
You can try watching, but it's gone. They pulled it.
you gotta buy
And
the
you know what?
DVD.
It made fun of blackface, but it also did blackface. So obviously, one of them wanted to do blackface, and he was like really good. And the other one just did the voice.
Yep.
But they switched halfway through, and if you've seen it, you know what we're talking about. If you haven't, you should take a
Dennis
look at
didn't
that.
want to go blackface, but Mac did. So Mac went full blackface.
Oh, look at me. I'm all sloppy. I don't have my top.
So I would say that episode should be put back on Hulu because that's the perfect way to do blackface.
Okay. We got a lot to get to. There is
Yeah.
2 weeks worth of stuff. We're going to have a long show today. If you guys are watching us on Channel 10, we continue this show on the other side on Facebook and YouTube. Just, you could find us. So there's a lot to get to. Meanwhile, he's spilling stuff all over himself. Speaking of spilling, we've got a Brew World order. So let's go ahead and hop into it. The Brew World.
It's the Brew World Order.
Can I just say that is my biggest complaint about these HEB sparkling waters, is that they fill them to the brim. So once you open it, you can't take a little swig, because if you do, it ends up spilling on you. And I'm still learning how to use my mustache, man. All right, this is new.
You know what? Actually, drinking is a lot easier than eating, because all you do is have to you just gotta take the bottom of your top lip and just try to touch it to your tip of your nose is what you basically got to do.
It does work.
And then once you get enough length there, the cup rim sort of helps pull it up when you do that too. You could let's see. I guess you could. I don't know what you. There's all sorts of fun stuff you can do. Anyways, welcome to the Brew World Order. This week we are talking about Zilker Brewing Company's Icy Boys. This is a rice lager. This was in collaboration with Spicy Boys Chicken. I don't know if you ever had Spicy Boys, but this is refreshing and dry, so they say, with an alcohol beer volume of 4.6. Alcohol beer volume? Alcohol by volume of 4.6. I thought when I said that, I was like, that doesn't feel right.
It sounded weird.
We got Mega Brewery yeast. We've got Super Saz hops, Pilsner rice, Carafoam. I don't know what Carafoam is, but we've all had a chance to take a sip of this stuff and come up with a number between 1 and 10. That's right. So we'll start with Not 052, my man, Brandon the Hardhead Mitchell.
You know, I'm almost done with this.
You're a
First
little
one.
hot.
Am I?
You feel hot.
Oh, all right. Turn me down just a
caliente.
little bit. Oh yeah, I guess I am a little hot. There we go. All right.
There you go.
So I'm about 3/4 of the way done with this beer. It's good. I'm not terribly impressed with it. It's a light lager, so there's not a whole lot to really expect out of it. But I want a little more out of it, so therefore I'm going to give it a 4. Not impressed by it, but it'll still get the job done.
Well, I think
For what?
That's right.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
Sorry, I was a little rusty there.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. What about you, David?
I feel that when I saw that it was in a collaboration with Spicy Boys Chicken.
I don't know what that is.
So I'm assuming it's spicy chicken.
Well, Spicy Boys Chicken, they make first of all, Zilker Brewing Company is right there on 6th Street, and they have a food truck there, and it's Spicy Boys.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And so what they do make is like chicken nuggets, but not like the chicken nuggets we know of. They're chopped chicken, and they're breaded very nicely, and then they're fried to just a great crisp, just a wonderful crisp. And then the sauce is what really does it, and it's Korean style barbecue, I think, what it is.
Nice.
And it's really, I find it very delicious. So
is it spicy?
Of course you can get it spicy. What do you think? They got no spice at Spicy Boys?
No, well, because that changed it to me. Because I thought it was a very bland beer.
Bland beer.
Right, like it's not something that is memorable, but if it's in collaboration to kind of be paired with spicy chicken, I could definitely see myself wanting to drink something like this. Because what
happens when you eat something hot and you try to drink something with
hoppiness, like an IPA
sort of burns a little more.
Yeah, and the beer doesn't taste good. So this is perfect for spicy food because your taste buds already fucked up. You just want a beer. You know what I mean? So this is gonna bump it up to a 7. That's right for me.
Wow, I didn't know you guys would go so low. This is actually a really good beer. I've never had it before, and it does have a great little light. It's light in the hop. It's a lager, dude. This is up there with Miller Lite for me. I can drink this all dang day. Well, I can't drink it all dang day because I just don't drink that much beer. But
because you work
all dang day is about 2 hours of solid drinking and then falling asleep.
2 hours of solid drinking.
And then just like trying to find food the next hour and then like falling asleep ultimately. Icy Boys is the ultimate pairing with Austin's own Spicy Boys fried chicken. But if you just want a solid beer, this is your beer. The Ultra Light Crusher. I like how they call it a crusher. You can crush this, right? Is made with the lightest malt we could find and fermented with our Mega Brewery yeast for that familiar beer taste. So it's like a family yeast that they use,
I was going to say, you get the yeast comes through, but it's not like overpowering.
I think it's great. This is wonderful. This is a 9. That's right to me.
Whoa!
No. I take it down. 9. It's a high one. I give it an 8. That's right. Because I would say 8.2, but this is an 8. Solid 8. That's right. Yeah. All right. Whew. was a close one. I
Hey,
almost
good
said nine
job,
on
man.
that one.
I'm proud of you.
All right, that's this week's. It's the Brew World Ooh.
Bro, who came up with that song?
I think it's fair use music.
Cause that cello, bro.
Womp, 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 womp.
Gets my
It's
heart
It's
going.
probably an old, pulled from something.
We need to fucking do a rap to that.
Okay. So, a lot to get to today, and we're going to talk about everything. We're going to try to get to everything.
Let's
So,
do it.
first of all, let's go into COVID, because that seems to be forefront in everybody's mind at the moment.
What,
So-
COVID?
Yeah.
That's still a thing?
Yeah, right? Is it a
What?
thing? A lot of people are fed up with it.
What? I don't even know COVID exists, bro. I thought that was the last
As
year.
you guys know or don't know, Austin is back at stage 5 restrictions.
The dumbest shit.
So that means like basically everywhere you got to wear a mask again.
Bro, I got a massage today and I had to wear a mask during a massage.
Really? What was his name? I'm just kidding.
Fabrizio.
It's Fabrizio. He's got the manliest hands I've ever had. So, I've had enough of this, and they're trying to at the place of my employment. They're saying, hey, we got to wear it in this area that we go. So it's like everywhere else we're cool, but it's when we interact with the customers and work in this. I'm just not gonna do that. But they have the rules.
Yep.
The thing is, why are we doing it? Because the cases are rising once again, right? But the rolling death average is very low.
Yeah.
And maybe inclining a little bit, because with more cases, you're going to find more death.
Yeah.
And that's their concern. So their concern is that there's more cases. That means there's more deaths. And we happen to find out the hospitalizations are what we should actually be focusing on. That's our indication of how
Yeah.
we're doing with it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like we're at capacity at all.
Not
Nothing
near.
close to what we've experienced. But stage 5 is pretty harsh for us. Just to let you guys know, I'm not wearing a mask anymore. Not even the one that's got my face printed on it. Not
And you
even that
spent good money on that one.
one. Well, my girlfriend did, and
And she spent good money on that one.
I should probably wear it a couple more times, like in bed. That'd be funny.
Oh, that'd be so fucking
Just
funny.
like she looks up at me and I'm wearing that, like I'm doing the one with the ooh face like
Yeah.
this.
That'd be so awesome.
She would love that, wouldn't
She'd
she?
be, what the fuck are you?
So this is what we're gonna look at right here is COVID restrictions groups, and we're gonna find out which one you guys fall into.
Okay.
So first, this comes from Nate Silver of 538.
So comment on Facebook or YouTube what you are. Group A, B, C, D, or E.
Wonderful. Yeah, in the comments as well. Anywhere you're watching this. So this comes from Nate Silver of 538. You know who Nate Silver is?
Yeah,
Yeah, everyone knows Nate Silver. He's a statistician or whatever.
I've never
it is.
seen him. I hear his name all the time.
Yeah, everyone. I don't. He's a pretty. I would not say he's partisan, but he sort of is. He's reliable when it comes to the facts. He's
Yeah.
not going to throw out shitty things you don't like to
Yeah.
hear if you're on the right. But anyways, this is from August 5th. His tweet says, if you look at public opinion on COVID-related restrictions right now, it probably breaks down into roughly into 5 of these groups or whatever.
Okay.
I don't know. I was reading that weird. But Group A, you guys ready? Group A, this is 25% of electorate. Vaccinated, but not ready for a, quote, return to normal, and thinks society has opened up too fast. Very worried about the Delta, in favor of any and all restrictions, including lockdowns and remote learning. Some of this group will transition into Group B if and when cases start falling, if or when. So I don't think any of us fall into that.
No.
I'm vaccinated, and Brandon's vaccinated, and David's vaccinated. He identifies as vaccinated.
That's what I identify. Yes, I identify.
Okay,
as
so
vaccinated.
Group B, vaccinated, and this is 30% of them, vaccinated, somewhat worried about Delta, and in favor of modest restrictions, such as indoor masking, especially if they target the unvaccinated. At the same time, don't want to return to lockdowns, although some could drift into Group A if cases keep rising or there are scary new variants, such as the Omega variant
Shit.
or the Zelta variant,
Or the
the Lambda variant.
yeah.
Do they go in all the Greek letters?
The
Is that how it
gamma,
goes?
lambda, delta,
Can you do the alphabet?
alpha, beta, gamma. No, I can't. I've already had a couple drinks, bro.
Guess where none of them are from right now?
Greek,
Well, no. I'm saying like the actual variants.
America.
We don't have a variant yet. We don't have a variant, but it could happen. The Delta, not even ours.
Nope.
Just like we were worried about the Brazilian variant, and we're worried about the Indian variant.
Yep.
Now they didn't want to call it the Indian
Nope,
variant.
they went delta.
Well, shit, you guys, we got to tone that shit down.
Yep.
Matter of fact, they couldn't even call it the Brazilian. Remember, they did something about. Well, we had to stop calling it the Brazilian and call it the fucking the Gamma. What or no, because we're. I don't know what we were, but anyways, I digress. Group C. So I don't know if you're falling into Group B, but Group C, this is 15% total. Vaccinated, but, quote, over, end quote, the pandemic and wary of restrictions. Likely a mix of younger voters who don't vote at high rates and some center-right libertarian types. Okay, 15% of you guys are going to be these guys. I fall into this group. I think I fall right into this group. I'm vaccinated, and I'm over the pandemic, and I don't like the restrictions. Likely a mix. I'm not a younger voter. I vote, and I am
What are you talking about, bro?
center-right libertarian.
You're a younger voter. You're in your 30s.
I'm closer to 40 than I am to 30
Yeah,
now.
but it's all good, bro. You still. young.
Let's see. Group D, 25%. This is a bigger piece of the pie here. Unvaccinated and strongly opposed to any restrictions. I think we know who belongs to Group D. Brandon.
You son of a bitch, Brandon.
God damn it.
Do you fall into Group D? How about Group
no.
E?
I do strongly oppose any restrictions.
Okay, here's Group E. 5%. Very small. Very small. Unvaccinated, but in favor of other restrictions. Indeed, they may think such restrictions are necessary to protect them because they can't or won't get vaccinated. Unlike Group D, which is mostly conservative Republicans and some apathetic younger voters, this group probably leans Democratic and working class. Unlike Group D. Group D, unvaccinated and strongly opposed to any restrictions. They're most likely... I think that would be true.
I mean, I like, you know, I follow
Most of the people I know
bro.
that are unvaccinated are conservatives.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm just not afraid of things. That's it. That's just the way I see it. I'm not afraid of it. I'm not afraid of stuff
I ain't
that
afraid
I
of no
can't
ghosts.
see. So
Yeah, so where do you guys fall into? I thought that was pretty interesting to take a look at that there. Keep that up while you pull up Nate Silver's other tweet here, because he adds to it. Oh, maybe it's the same damn link twice.
what does he fucking?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. Maybe we can roll down to some of his replies on this here and take a look. No, you know what? Fuck it, because there's more in COVID I have to do because we are on stage 5 here in
Yeah, we're-
Austin.
yep.
And so I've got, if you want to go to number 3 here, we've got some
Austin local news.
Austin local news. That's
Gotta
how we
keep
roll.
it local.
Got it. How'd you know?
I just know.
I know a great place. It's called.
I just know, Joe.
I've been to a
I
great
just know.
place. It's called Austin. You ever heard of Austin?
heard of
Austin's
Austin?
great. It's Austin great. Like he's the first one.
The greatest city.
He's the first one to ever experience everything.
Yep.
Like I found this views. It's a wonderful. It's called e-cigarettes.
I don't know if you've heard of them.
It's not even smoke. It looks like smoke. It's not smoke. Fauci would go, I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. All right. Austin moves to COVID-19 stage 5. Here are the new guidelines for the vaccinated and the unvaccinated.
Bro, look at the way this dude's looking at that chick, bro.
He's like, I think he's looking at her tits. Inappropriate.
I was gonna say what tits, but that would have been.
Let's see. The city of Austin moved to stage 5. This is from Caitlin Carmont and Andrew
Shenanigans.
Schnicker.
I don't know if you can say that.
Nichter.
Schnichter.
It's Nichter.
Schnichter.
From KXN.
You know he's a Russian.
KXAN.com. The city of Austin moved to stage 5 of Austin Public Health's risk-based guidelines, updating its recommendations to keep the community safe against COVID-19. Although the Austin Travis County has been at the threshold for stage 5 guidelines for days, APH officially announced the move Thursday.
How are you at the threshold for days?
Well, it's holding there, and it's like, okay, we'll give it one more day. If it goes down, we'll be cool. But it went up a couple. It went up a couple cases, more than a few cases. Quote, "This is our Olympic moment. We have to do this. We have to get vaccinated so our businesses can thrive and our children can go back to school safely." End quote. Dr. Desmar Walks, the local health authority, said, "For people who are vaccinated and are at high risk, the new recommendations include wearing masks and avoiding large gatherings where masks are not required." Basically the same thing the same thing that we went to.
Wait, why does it say for people who are vaccinated and are high risk?
Yeah.
The new
Who's
recommendations
excluded
include-
from that sentence when they say that? The people who are unvaccinated and are high risk. Oh, I see. So they're saying everyone that's not, everyone that's unvaccinated need not listen to this sentence here, basically. "For those who are fully vaccinated, you need to wear a mask. For others," she said, "we are asking you to step up again and decrease the number of cases in our community." Wilkes is asking the vaccinated community to wear masks unless eating or drinking at restaurant indoors, to consider curbside dining when possible. No.
But wait, no.
The answer is
Why
no.
the vaccinated? Why the vaccinated? She should be talking to the unvaccinated.
Well, it's true.
Why is she talking to the vaccinated? You know that there's people who are banning vaccinated people from their restaurants and from their public gatherings and stuff.
Well,
like
let me
that.
ask you.
Because they're saying that the people who are vaccinated, not saying anybody in this room, I'm just saying the people who got vaccinated actually can pass it on more than people who are unvaccinated.
Well, the question you asked, like, why?
Mhm.
You tell me. Why do you think we're in stage 5? Why do you think they're telling us to wear masks again? Like, what is going on there?
They're not telling me to wear a mask. They're telling you to wear a mask.
Well, they're telling you to wear a mask. They've always told you to wear a mask, but now they're telling me to wear a mask again.
Well, hold on.
After Joe Biden promised me,
We
he
gotta-
said, "Hey, you do not have to wear them anymore."
We just got to read a little bit more before we
Go ahead.
So keep going. It says, for people who are unvaccinated or partially vaccinated, the recommendations include masking and making only essential trips outside of the home for dining, shopping, and travel. Well, now we're getting into semantics, because to you, what is an essential trip?
Exactly. Well, essential. It could be anything, right?
It's essential for me to go out and get some Twizzlers.
Well, that's how they leave it open enough. They give us some freedom, and they go, "Well, we got to put essential on there because obviously it's subjective."
But do you see how it almost glorifies the vaccinated community? Because look at the sentence. For those that are fully vaccinated, we need you to wear masks for others. We're asking you to step up again and decrease the numbers of cases for our community. She's saying to the vaccinated community, you guys are the heroes. You guys are the good ones. Way to go, pat on your back.
Yes.
And she's alienating the unvaccinated as if they're the ones who are doing the bad thing.
Yes.
What if the unvaccinated live nowhere near anybody?
Well, of course they're going to be outliers. I wouldn't go to those type of arguments, but what I don't hear anything about is natural immunity.
Mm-hmm. Or healthy people who don't need to get vaccinated.
Why not let them get it like you would give your child chicken pox, when they're a kid? Why? I think younger people should just go ahead and get it.
What?
No, sorry. Just go ahead and get COVID.
Oh, COVID, not
Yeah.
the vaccine.
Yeah, I want you to get natural immunity.
Okay, yeah.
I'd rather you get natural immunity, but you could probably, you may have had it, you may not have had it, but I think you should at least get the antibodies test, which is a blood-drawn test. No computers necessary for this, so you can feel safe, and the little line goes in and goes, okay, the line is not there, you don't have the antibodies, and at least you know that you have the natural immunity, which they're saying could last a lifetime.
Oh, of course.
Well, I don't know who's saying that, but they're saying that.
Oh, of course. Why wouldn't it?
So people I know are saying it.
Like, there's some people.
I know some people
may-
that have said
you
it.
may know them.
Smart people.
I know them.
I believe them. You should believe them too.
Not that fake CNN.
But they're doing this again, and I don't think a lot of people are going to do it. I don't think a lot of businesses are going to do it, and there'll be businesses that do it because they are what's
Pussies.
the word? Yeah, well, your word, not mine, but I'll agree with you. Yeah, but your word, not mine.
I mean, what else would you call them?
gatos.
Gatos, cats? I get it, you son of a bitch.
Well, okay, so let me talk you through this. This is a way
going.
to keep control. Now we're looking at. Now I think I have the next link, which is the rolling death average. Okay, so they always said what we always talked about before, and this is link 4 here when you get the chance, Brandon.
You can go back to the tape. You can play the tape.
What we talked about is like they are using cases for this, and I get it. The cases, when there's more cases, there's more deaths ultimately, but the cases are being inflated once again, and I don't think they're like being inflated artificially. I think people are having to take more tests to do things, and because they may have it in their system, because it's a little virus, it gets in the nose, it may be a drop that hasn't worked its way. Whatever the fact may be, Delta is 1,000 times more transmissible.
What I was gonna say was, well, it depends, right? More cases does not equal more deaths, because let's say you have 50 people, and 30 of those people, or let's say you have 50 people, and all 50 people get it, but 30 of those people die, and you could say, well, more than half of those people died, so you got to get it. But let's say those 30 people were going to die either way of COVID because of their pre-existing conditions and all this other stuff. And let's say we have 100 people and those same 30 people die. It doesn't look as bad because you have more people who got it, but you have less of a percentage of people who died. You know what I mean? So more people doesn't equal more deaths, or more people getting it doesn't equal more deaths. It depends. And that's what they're trying to make us think. It's like if it's out there running rapid, then more people are going to die. That's not what it means. It means more people will get it, but it doesn't mean more people will die, because what if more people get immune to it? And the people who were going to die because, again, their pre-existing conditions and other things like that. But
I wish they would consider that having the natural immunity is just as good.
Yeah.
Is it not? I mean, I've heard epidemiologists saying that that's the case, doctors. And as you can see, if you want to pull up this chart, this is the rolling deaths here in Texas, the death rate here. And back in January, just before we were all able to get it, I mean, it was at the all-time high, man. We were seeing 277 deaths. We were in stage 5 back then, too, if I'm not mistaken. Now, as you can see, since March, maybe mid-March, things have been going down. We had one little tiny spike. We had a spike down. We had a spike up. And then all the way through June, a nice little rolling down. And then could you hover over what we have today, which is the very end there? 66 deaths, what I saw. 62 deaths, okay? That's August 4th. So 62 deaths. Now, if you roll up there a bit and look at new confirmed cases there. Now, look at this chart. Now, notice how it was going up very slightly in the deaths, but look at that sharp incline for cases. Obviously, there's more testing happening, therefore there's more cases happening.
Exactly. Yes.
And this is what we talked about before.
Yes.
Now, cases also
just looking
are...
at like the sheer numbers here, you're talking 13,000 cases, and then over here to deaths, 62.
That's a good correlation. Let's take a look at that.
Like,
so
exactly.
Let's look at
Yes,
that.
it's concerning, but
Brandon, go to that red line where it says 277 deaths. Okay, so it's the middle dotted line, but it's the one closest to the end. So it's next to March. Yeah, that one right there, 277. Now we're looking at that.
Yeah.
That's like pretty much the peak. Now go to that same time in the cases, and we'll see what it is there.
The next one.
14,000. It's 14,000. The next one over, the red line.
oh, that one.
The 14,000 cases, and you'll see. I think you got to actually go hover on the line. It don't matter. It's 14,000 cases. Now recorded on August 4th, 13,000 cases. Now, if we roll right back to the deaths again, we'll see that the 277 deaths that same day with the same amount of cases versus the 60, 70 deaths that we have today with the same amount of cases. As when we had no vaccine.
Same amount of cases, less amount of deaths.
So clearly we are seeing less death this time around.
Well, and what does that mean? It means COVID isn't as bad as they're making it seem.
Well, it never was. bad.
Yes, that's what I've been
Exactly.
saying from the beginning. It's never
Can I
been
get
that
it?
bad.
Can I get it exactly?
Can I get an exactly? You damn right you can. And that's the thing. It's COVID has never been as bad as they said it was, but because so many people and so many Americans, and what we're taught as Americans is to be cordial, right? To respect one another and to to say, okay, we're gonna do whatever we can to help one another out, and they took that and they used it for their benefit.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
All right, we got to move on.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about all that? We can go on forever on that. So I want to talk about this while we have some time. As I mentioned in the intro there, have you ever been dismissed in a political argument? I know I have when I was talking to pretty much anybody.
Yeah.
When you say anything that Tucker might have said or something on Fox News, Hannity, and they go, that's just fucking Fox News talking points.
Yeah.
Oh, blah, blah, blah. So I came across this, and actually I think it might have been on Shapiro this afternoon. This is where I saw this because this is great. And I think this is written on the liberalpatriot.substack by Roy Teixeira.
Texera. Yeah, Texera. That's how you say that one.
Sorry, dude, if I butchered your name there.
Hey, bro,
This is called the Fox News fallacy. It's blinding the Democrats to real problems. The Fox News fallacy is having a dire effect on so many Democrats. This is the idea that if Fox News, substitute here for the conservative bête noire of your choice, if you prefer, criticizes the Democrats for X, then there must be absolutely nothing to do with X. And the job of Democrats is to assert that loudly and often. The problem is that an issue is not necessarily completely invalid just because Fox News mentions it. That depends on the issue. If there is something to the issue and persuadable voters have real concerns, you will not allay those concerns by embracing the Fox News fallacy. In fact, you'll probably intensify them by giving such voters the impression that Democrats simply don't care about their concerns and will do nothing to address them. That will undermine the Democrats' ability to respond to predictable attacks against their candidates in 2022 and raise the likelihood of a midterm debacle. Crime is a great example of this. Initially dismissed as simply an artifact of the COVID shutdown that was being vastly exaggerated by Fox News and the like for their nefarious purposes, it is now apparent that the spike in violent crime is quite real and that voters are very, very concerned about it. According to recent data from the Democrat-oriented Navigator Research, more Americans overall, including among independents and Hispanics, now believe that violent crime is a major crisis than believe that about the coronavirus pandemic or any other area of concern. Moreover, majorities of even Democrats now believe violent crime is a major crisis, and concerns are sky high among black voters. 70% say it's a major crisis. Similarly, that's a funny word. The latest USA Today poll finds crime and gun violence topping the list of issues that worry Americans.
Wow.
The public response leans heavily in the direction of more policing, not less, countering the defund the police approach that was promulgated by many on the Democratic left and still holds considerable sway in those quarters.
Yeah.
The same USA Today poll found 77% support for deploying more police to the street patrols and 70% support for increasing police department budgets. Well, I'll tell you, after this last election, I don't believe a fucking poll anymore, okay?
Yeah, for
Not
real.
one. In contrast, defund the police clocks in at just 22% support and is even opposed by black respondents 60 to 38.
Wow. That's a heavy majority.
Concern about public safety is high in urban areas, particularly among non-whites. as David would say it.
Non-whites.
Yes, in heavily black Detroit, a USA Today Suffolk University Detroit Free Press poll found amid a jump in violent crime in this and other cities nationwide, Detroit residents report being much more worried about public safety than about police misconduct. By an overwhelming 9-1, they would feel safer with more cops on the street, not fewer. In Detroit, 1 in 5 residents, that's 19%,
Yep.
cited public safety as the biggest issue facing the city, second only to education, named by 23%.
1 in 5 residents, 19%.
They're probably rounding up the 1 to 5. Yeah, of course, it's 20%, but 19%. They're like, well, we're gonna go 1 in every 4.999%.
That's
residents.
weird, bro.
So that's why they said 1 in 5. Why not just? See, they wanted to be accurate by putting the 19% there, which, by the way, they also put it in quotation. I mean, parentheses, which they didn't do with the next one. On a list of 8 concerns, police reform ranked last at 4%. A poll found a significant racial divide on the question. Black residents ranked crime at the top of their list of concerns. 24% cited public safety and just 3% named police reform. But white residents were a bit more concerned about police reform than the public safety. 12% compared with 10.
Wow.
Wow. Ooh, wow. Wow. Ooh, wow. I was going to see if I can try to skip forward here a bit, but continuing on. The former Prime Minister of UK, Tony Blair, had a very successful slogan: tough on crime, tough on the causes of crime. Democrats would be well advised to adopt a similar approach. Fox News may exaggerate. Fox News may have highly partisan political purposes, but they're not making the crime problem up. So this obviously is someone that's not on the right,
Yeah.
but may still be someone center something, but definitely not a lefty, because no one would ever no lefty would ever defend. But then I'm falling into a different fallacy, which we'll talk about in a second. Another example of the Fox News fallacy is the immigration issue. The Biden administration has still resists calling the situation at the Mexican border a crisis, and initially insisted that the surge at the border would go away on its own as the hot weather season arrived.
Come on.
That was
Come
the
on,
line
man.
most Democrats adhered to.
What is he talking about? These people crossing the border, that's like the prime time for them to cross the fucking border, man. They're good.
Why is it the prime time?
Because you get to cook.
You got the sun, you can cook.
Bro, you got
it.
the fucking sun, bro, by fucking noon.
Tortillas are easy to put down in your hat.
Bro,
They're like
fucking
easy to
just-
pack.
You walk, hey, we need some tortillas. You throw them down. You throw the eggs down on the fucking floor, nice and hard, because it's been stepped on so much. You good, bro. Come on.
Come on, man.
Come on, Joe. You know this.
Let's see. This was the line most Democrats adhered to, invoking the idea that the issue was more of a Fox News talking point than a real problem. How many times have you talked about that and someone said to you, oh, that's just Fox News talking points? I know that the person that used to host this show with me threw that around a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's just a fucking right-wing fucking talking point. It is now apparent that the border surge is not going away anytime soon, and that the perceived liberalization of the border regime under the Biden administration has indeed spurred more immigrants to try their luck at the border. And it's not going away with the hot weather. Maria Sakiti and Nick Miroff at the Washington Post report. Officials may have made more than 1 million apprehensions in the southwest border this fiscal year as of June.
Jeez.
And 210,000 more individuals probably crossed in July. He's like, probably. David Sholahian, Assistant Secretary for Border and Immigration Policy at the Department of Homeland Security, said, calling the preliminary tally, quote, the highest monthly encounter number since fiscal year 2000.
Really? Wow.
And it only amped up more because we kept eyes on it because we just got fucking bombed. We got planes thrown into our, to some buildings. July is also likely included a record number of unaccompanied children encounters, exceeding 19,000.
Dude.
And the second highest number of family unit encounters at around 80,000, end quote, which is close to the peak in May 2019.
Dude, the kids that have been fucking just taken without parents, without fucking IDs is insane. in San Antonio, Edinburgh, McAllen, everywhere near the border, bro. Like there's places where they're making it seem as if it's legit, and they're just fucking bringing in kids and taking them to the airport. You don't even know where the fuck they're going.
Meanwhile, a lot of, at least New York is now brought forth the vaccine passport.
Oh yeah.
You got to show your vaccine ID.
Scan
Make sure
my
you can
arm,
do stuff.
please. Scan my forehead, please.
But if you need to vote,
Oh, you don't need anything. You want to vote? Just go ahead and do it.
sorry, no, that's fucking. Hey, you have COVID? Go ahead and vote. You can go ahead and vote. Oh, you're gonna die. You have STDs.
Go vote. Yeah, you can vote with your blood. It's okay.
In a just released morning consult poll, Biden's approval rating on immigration stands at 37% approval, losers, and 52% disapproval. That's right, my man. That's 30-54 among independents. Consistent with other recent polls, Democrats would do well to remember that public opinion polling over the years has consistently shown overwhelming majorities in favor of more spending and emphasis on border security. Here is another issue that is being exploited by Fox News, but is still a real problem Democrats need to address. You guys ready for this one?
Let's do it.
Because I think we're exploiting this one as well. Finally, here's one that's increasingly in the news these days. Quote, critical race theory, CRT. It's a term originating in academic legal theory that has been shorthanded by the right as a catch-all for the intrusion of race essentialism into teacher training, school curricula, and the like. The Fox News fallacy is very strong here, and the standard Democrat comeback is to simply assert that any voters, including parents who are concerned about CRT, are manipulated by Fox News and are opposing benign pedagogical practices like teaching about slavery, Jim Crow, and the Tulsa Race Massacre, redlining, and so on. The not so subtle implication is that such voters are racist, since who else would be opposed to simply teaching such historical facts? You know, I recently watched, I don't know if you ever watched Devin Tracy. His show's called Atheism is Unstoppable. And he did this really good breakdown of the Tulsa Race Massacre, which I didn't even know about. And this is being touted as... so basically, do you know about the Tulsa Race Massacre? I'll go over it real quick. We don't have, we're fighting against the clock here, but
maybe I do, but I don't know the name.
We got Peace at Peace says CRT is pupe.
Damn right it is.
Pew pew. What was I getting at? Oh, the Tulsa Race Massacre. So apparently it was spurred by this. There was a woman that went into an elevator that back in those days elevators had drivers, right? And so the driver of that elevator, who was black, may or may not have made her feel very uncomfortable and tried to rape her.
Cuomo her.
Oh, yes, Cuomo her, right?
Okay.
I kiss everyone. And apparently she runs out, and this guy gets arrested. And then this sparks up a huge thing, because then there's a bunch of African-American folks at the court or whatever with guns. They may or may not have killed a white guy, and then the whites fucking massacred, or at least fought back. That's what it was, a fought back. And then they're saying there's lots of mass grave kind of stuff. But the actual story, nobody can actually tell you the same story. It's like, it depends on where you fall politically. If you're on the left, they're going to say that the driver of the elevator, which I forget his name. It's some Dickie. Let's see. Can you look that up for me while I talk about this? Where with this guy, this driver of the elevator, fell. Like he fell on her, right? And that's what started this whole thing. At no point was there like believe all women. This woman said, oh, and they also said that they might have had like a secret relationship.
Dick Rowland.
That's what it was. Rolling.
The dick
Rollin'.
was rolling.
It became a Memorial Day weekend, which is another sort of triggering thing nowadays, right? We got St. George Floyd here. Weekend after 19-year-old Dick Rowland, black shoe shiner, was accused of assaulting Sarah Page, the 17-year-old white elevator operator. Oh, no, she was the elevator operator, and he was the shoe shiner in the nearby Drexel building. He was taken into custody. After Rowland was arrested, rumors stated that he was going to be lynched, and were spread and throughout the city, which had seen a white man named Roy something lynched the previous year. Upon hearing reports that a mob of hundreds of white men had gathered around the jail where Roland was being held, a group of 75 black men, some of whom were armed. A lot of them were armed. Somehow, it's funny that they said that, arrived at the jail in order to ensure that Roland would not be lynched. The sheriff persuaded the group to leave jail, assuring them that he had the situation under control. An elderly white man approached Obi Man, a black man, demanded. So, okay, I digress. Read about the Tulsa Race Massacre. But here's the point that this woman or this guy is trying to say on this. The point that they want to teach the Tulsa Race Massacre, but they want to teach the thing that the white people were being racist. Mm-hmm. They killed and massacred these people. Mm-hmm. And you know what they called Tulsa back then, that area? The Black Wall Street. Mm. They tore down successful black men that opened their shops. Like, this whole area became shitty because a lot of the men that ran those shops died fighting against these white people. At the end of the exchange of gunfire, 12 people were dead, 10 white and 2 black. So there were casualties on both sides, but this started that race massacre. About 10,000 black people were left homeless, and property damage amounted to more than $1.5 million in real estate and about $750,000 in personal property, equivalent to $32.65 million in 2020. Many survivors left Tulsa. Black and white residents who stayed in the city largely kept silent about the terror, violence, and resulting losses for decades. The massacre was largely omitted from local, state, and national histories. All this stuff needs citation, by the way, but you can write anything on there. But what I get here, I want the fact. Everything that anyone's going to tell you about this on either side is conjecture. Mm-hmm. We don't know whether or not the operator of the elevator train, actually was groped by this. Maybe he did fall. We don't know, but to actually say that's what happened and that's started the race riot, it's just false and misinformation.
Again, it could have been one of those things where she's operating and then it stops and it goes dun and it shakes and I'm sorry. You
fucking Negro, get your goddamn hands off me.
Grabbing the titty a little bit. Hey, bro. When you're tripping, you're not looking at what you're grabbing. You're just trying not to fall.
And this whole time, too. Oh, okay, look at that right there. The clipping right there, the news clipping.
Negro for attacking girl.
This is the only elevator. This is really the only clipping that's still around that we can read. Let's see. It says,
really?
A Negro delivery boy who gave his name to the police as Diamond Dick.
Yes, bro. What?
But who has been identified as Dick Rowland was arrested on South Greenwood Avenue morning by officers, this guy and that guy, charged with attempting to assault the 17-year-old white elevator girl in the Drexel building. He will be tried in municipal court this afternoon on state charge. The girl said she noticed the Negro a few minutes before the attempted assault looking up and down the hallway on the 3rd floor of the Drexel building as to see if there was anyone in sight, but thought nothing of it at the time. It's hard to read that. A few minutes later, he entered the elevator, she claimed, and attacked her, scratching her hands and face and tearing at her clothes. Her screams brought a clerk from the nearby store to her assistance, and the Negro fled. He was captured and identified this morning by both the girl and the clerk, police say. Roland denied that he tried to harm the girl, but admitted to put his hand on her arm in the elevator when she was alone. Okay, read that again. Roland denied that he tried to harm the girl, but admitted he put his hand on her arm in the elevator when she was alone. Tenants of the Drexel building said the girl is an orphan who works as an elevator operator to pay her way through business calls. If you were to believe all women, this was the woman you want to believe. Yeah, by the way,
an orphan who works as an elevator operator to pay her way through business college.
So, anyways, I don't know what you read there, but that surely doesn't look like okay. The guy ran. First of all, he ran after getting caught. And she's saying that. Now, we can take her where she may be lying. I don't know. She may be a lying bitch.
She could be.
She could be a
I
lying
don't know.
bitch.
I don't know who she is.
But she has scratches all over her face. And I don't know. They didn't have forensics like we do today. Maybe you got some scratches. Anyways,
But
that
why
is
would he scratch her face?
so that's the Fox fallacy, not this thing. The CRT is what they're talking about. Let's go back to reading this Fox fallacy here. Is the not so subtle implication is that such voters are racist, since who else would be opposed to simply teaching such historical facts? Now, if they read what we just read, they probably wouldn't read that thing, or would they read it and go, "This is obviously lying. The media lies," or whatever. I don't know what they'd go, but this misrepresents the concerns of many parents and what the whole CRT controversy is really about. A serious engagement with the issue demands a deeper and more accurate understanding of the roots of the controversy. Sociologist Alana Redstone provides some clarifying analysis. CRT's critics are often portrayed as wanting to whitewash history and deny the reality of slavery. If the problem were that simple, the criticisms would indeed be worthy of dismissal they often receive. Yet, there are serious concerns about CRT that are rarely aired and that have nothing to do with these points. As a result, confusion and misinformation abound and tension continues to mount. Before making a few clarifying points, it's worth notifying that the vast majority of teachers and DEI trainers are not sitting down with the students or groups announcing a lesson on CRT. More often than not, the name CRT never comes up at all. However, CRT-based perspective is quietly shaping the conversation anyway. Its impact can be seen in conversations about race, power, identity, intent, privilege, and in instance on seeing the world through its lens. CRT is a theoretical perspective that asserts that race is always about inequality and domination. CRT has a few main tenets. Number one, colorblind racism. De-emphasizing the role of race and racism, including a focus on concepts of merit, is itself a manifestation of racism.
Yep.
Focused concepts of merit is in itself a manifestation of racism. Oh my goodness. Number two, interest convergence. Members of the dominant group will only support equality when it's in their best interest to do so.
Yep.
Number three, race and racism are always tied together. Race is a construct meant to preserve white dominance over people of color while making it seem like life is about meritocracy. I guess, basketball has got nothing to do with that. I guess you're ready to join the NBA or something.
You damn right, bro. I'm gonna get
Muggsy
drafted
Bogues
next
over
week.
here.
You damn right I will.
You're probably taller than Muggsy Bogues, and he still made it to the NBA, and you didn't. In attention to systemic racism, this is number four, unwillingness to recognize the full force of systemic racism as determining disparities between groups is a denial of the reality of racism today and evidence of ignorance at its best and racism at its worst. While rightly shining a light on racism as a problem, CRT leaves no space for non-racist reasons to see the world, or in this case, the causes of inequality differently. This is a good summary of basic CRT-inspired ideas that have arrived in educational systems. Okay, that's it for that. That is what we're talking about here, the Fox fallacy. Now, let's go to number 7 while we still have time here, and let's talk about the leftist fallacy. Have you ever called anyone a leftist?
No.
You've called people a leftist. They're leftists.
No.
Leftists.
I've said people have leftist ideologies or thinking, but I've never called someone a leftist.
This comes from theadvocate.com. John DeGulio writes here. He wrote this. It's a 1-minute read, so it's quick here. I write in response to Ernest Gammon's letter accusing Edward Pratt of spreading propaganda. I find it especially galling from someone who obviously gets his talking points from Fox News, a pure propaganda arm of the Trump presidency, to compare the literally thousands of lies told by this president with a couple of instances from past holders that the office is typical of that network. Let's see. Calling others leftists is not an argument. The logical fallacy most often used by Fox followers is called the straw man fallacy. Okay, that's really what all I wanted to read here. So he starts by saying, okay, the left, calling people leftists is a fallacy. It's a logical fallacy, calling them leftists, and it's often used by Fox followers. But then goes into saying the Fox fallacy right over here. He obviously gets his talking points from Fox News.
And a pure propaganda arm for the Trump presidency.
So this guy's saying, hey, the leftist is not an argument, Either find one example or make one up of a position you don't agree with and consign it to those you agree with, which, by the way, the majority of the country. Yes, he won the election, but did not and still does not have the majority support, as hard of a pill as that is to swallow. Some examples. Gun control advocates want to take your guns away.
What did he say?
He said,
yes, he won the election.
this is an example of a straw man.
Oh.
If he won the election but did not, or no, this is how you fight it. I don't know, whatever, fuck it. That's not what I want to read here. Here's some examples of this straw man argument. Gun control advocates want to take your guns away. False. Anyone who objects to $5 billion for a wall is for open borders. False. Any journalist who reports on actual facts, such as the Trump Justice Department in New York finding that Trump instructed Michael Cohen and the National Enquirer to pay off former lovers to keep is promulgating fake news. False. You can just say, anyone who reports, such as Trump Department paying off hooker. But he was like, we had to write all this stuff in here. This is obviously someone who's very biased, who will fall into the Fox fallacy, but then also say calling us leftists is a logical fallacy, when the logical fallacy is dismissing anybody for Fox News.
What is he trying to say?
He's trying to be a little bitch.
I'm not understanding what this guy is saying. Like, he sounds like a 15-year-old who's mad that her parents didn't let her use a car.
No, he's not upset with him. He goes, well, you obviously watch Fox News, and that's where you're going to get your facts. Just to let you know, they're shitty because they have Tucker Carlson.
But no, that's what I'm saying. He's not making any arguments.
No, he's not. He's a loser.
That's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
It's like a 15-year-old girl complaining to her parents that she can't borrow the car, and they're like, no, you can't borrow it. But Mom, I told you I wanted to go out tonight. Yeah, but you're still not using the car. But I have money to go. It's like, none of your arguments are going to make me say, yes, you can use the car, because that has nothing to do with you using the car.
Listen to this. I am a fan of Edward Pratt's Saturday column and hope he continues to intersperse some observation about our democracy's peril along with his personal reflections. I watch Fox to see the alternate reality created there. No, you don't. I read some advocate columnists who spout the same nonsense. It is distressing, but the free press idea is here to stay. In spite of Donald Trump and Fox. This guy's a fucking lawyer. What a loser. You fall for your own logical fallacy that you're doing here.
See, when I read things like this and he ends it off with lawyer, I just think to myself, I could probably be a fucking lawyer. This dude is an idiot. If this is literally the way he thinks, he's an idiot. They pay this man to fucking argue cases. This is the dumbest argument I've ever seen in my life.
He's a loser. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. We're going to continue on the other side. We've got a lot to talk about. We're going to try to get it in 1 hour's time. So thank you guys for joining us. If you're on Channel 10, you can hop over to Facebook, finding us Emergency Exit Podcast. It's that simple. So next week, we are doing a really sweet collab. We're going to be hanging out with the Who's on Call boys.
Who's on call?
I'm going to make sure I say Rick and Rich properly to the right person, and I think I'm going to get it this time.
You will.
So next week we're going live on location.
I'm
on location,
I'm
man.
excited for
I'm
that.
super
I
stoked.
love the guys from Who's on Call. I can't wait for this.
So on the other side, we're going to talk about Cory Bush. We're going to talk about Biden, some Trump, all that fun stuff. So in the meantime, hop over for Brandon the Heart at Mitchell, for David Aguilar. I'm Los saying, that's right. All right, welcome to the other side. A lot to talk about today. I mean, dude, I've been collecting news since we were off, and so there's a lot of this stuff maybe old, and I'll probably skip any of that older ancient Chinese secret.
So weird thing 2 weeks ago is old.
With the news cycle we have, yeah, it doesn't surprise me. But let's go ahead and do this defund the police B word here. I thought this was really funny because, when you say you want to defund the police, you obviously have a different idea of what the police is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And this is why we have division in this world. If we can't come to grips on what certain things are and what they do, we're going to be divided. And when you keep saying we want to defund the police, you're like, why? Well, because they do this and that. You're like, they disproportionately. You go, well, yes, but why are these? They use the CRT idea because CRT has crept into our system. It's systemic now.
Yep.
It creeps in. And so this woman, Cori Bush, she's all about the defunding police, but then it comes out, I think some Republican watchdogs looks up some publicly known news or something. I don't know where you can find it. And then turns out she spends $70,000 on private security. Meanwhile,
Since the January 6th attack.
less than 6 months time. Oh no, more than
$70,000 in about 6-7 months. Yeah, it's almost $10,000 a month.
She says this: defunding the police has to happen. Private security. So he's looking up what the cost of private security is. It's $12 to $14 an hour. So less than a year's time. Well, that's several of them too.
Yeah.
So she may be having more than one.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways.
$150 an hour at the most.
Of course, they probably charge a lot more because it's government, and you can just go ahead and charge whatever you want as long as you're paying for it. You're good.
Because we're paying for it.
And I don't know if she's paying. I see. I was hearing that it's taxpayer money, but she's using campaign money, so it's her own money that she was raised. But then I heard it's half. It's over half of her. Anyways, maybe I should read. Maybe we'll find out here. Defunding the police has to happen. We need to defund the police and put that money into social safety nets because we're trying to save lives, Bush told CBS News in an interview outside the Capitol. When asked whether it's hypocritical to hold that position while also spending nearly $70,000 on personal security since January 6th attack, Bush said the other alternative might be death. Would you rather me die? Is that what you want to see? Would you rather see me die? Because that would be the alternative. That could be the alternative. Can you click on that hyperlink and see if that's a video? Maybe there's a video within this this article. That'd be great. No, there's not. So yeah, I would just there it is. Perfecto. Oh, it's not a video. Would you rather me die? But basically, she says it this way. She says, would you rather me die? I'm not gonna read the whole thing. Bush was among 24 lawmakers who spent more than $1,000 on personal security following the attack on the Capitol early July. Bush spent nearly $70,000 on personal security, more than any other House lawmaker, according to the Hills analysis. My security is not against communal violence. My security is not to keep me safe from people of St. Louis. It's to keep me safe for those racist attempts made against my life. Wow. Prove it. You know what happened when somebody threatened Ben Shapiro's family? He went to the FBI and that person went to jail. You can go out and just, you know what? Maybe I wouldn't have a problem with this, right? I'd be like, okay, you're spending your own money on that. Mm-hmm. If you just like showed me one.
Yeah.
Like you can Jussie Smollett that shit.
Yeah.
You can just have a couple of your friends go and fucking beat you up in the fucking alley after Subway.
Again, Jussie Smollett, dude. When was the last time we heard about that motherfucker, right? But exactly what you said. Where's the evidence? You know what I mean? Like there's people out there who are being, especially when Trump was president and all that shit was going on, they were being chased out of restaurants. They were being chased by mobs of people. They didn't have any security people who were Republicans. You know what I mean? They were still going out to do whatever they wanted. See, it's the Democrats for whatever reason, especially the POCs in the Democratic Party who just
piece of craps.
Sure, let's go with that. Who just feel like this elevation in society. Like they're better than everybody else. You know what I mean? She's saying, what did she say? What? You want me to die because of the racist?
I have private security because my body is worth being on this planet right now. I have private security because the white supremacists, racist narrative that they drive into this country, the fact that they don't care that this black woman that has to put her life on the line, they don't match my energy, first of all. So this black woman who puts her life on the line, they don't care that it could be taken out of here, that I could be taken out of here. They actually probably are okay with that. But this is the thing. I won't let them get that off. You can't get that off. I'm going to make sure I have security because I know I've had attempts on my life. Prove it. I have too much work to do. And there are too many people that need my help right now for me to allow that. So if I end up spending $200,000, if I spend $10,000. $10 more on it. That's what she says. She like stumbles and says 100,000. You know that I get to be here to do the work. So suck it up, and defunding the police has to happen. That's the part I think people are a little bit more soured on. So suck it up, and defunding the police has to happen. Safety for me, and not for the people that because obviously they think that the cops absolutely do no good.
Mm-hmm.
Defunding the police, no, they do no good.
None.
All cops are bastards.
Well, and again, to go back to our prior point, exactly what she's saying there, that is CRT ideology. That is saying, I'm black, so I need to be protected more than everybody else, so everybody needs to pay me to be safe.
They act like they're endangered species.
Yes. Exactly.
Can you imagine if
and I'm not just saying
whooping crane, are they endangered? They fucking walked around, they're like...
She's acting like the motherfucking dodo bird.
They walk around and they try to get beat up, you know? And they're like, yeah, you can't beat me up, you know I'm endangered.
Bitch, what you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
You can't do shit. I'm in danger. You gotta keep me around.
My body is much more important than yours.
Then that's what she's saying.
Come on. What do you got?
Bro, that's what she's saying. I'm black, so I'm more important than you are.
Yeah, she says it right there.
So pay for my security, not for yours.
She puts her life on the line. First of all, they can't match her energy. That's what she was going to say. First of all, they can't match my energy.
Idiot. What an idiot.
Anyways.
But again,
ain't that about a bitch?
This is the shit that is being accepted within the Democratic Party.
Well, speaking of Democratic Party, Jen Psaki
that bitch
was asked about this, and this is number 9 here if you want to pop that on, Mr. Hardhat.
Well, she is a person of color, and you know that the president believes that all people of color need to be protected, and I think they should pay for it.
Well, first of all, why is it always the Fox News Peter Dorsey, who's now becoming the Jim Acosta of the right, right? Who always was the one to give them the questions, but at least Peter Ducey has like good questions, and these are important questions.
Look,
Nobody
bro,
asked her about this.
They need to let us in there because that's another white motherfucker, bro. They got to get some POCs in there to ask that question.
Yeah, pieces of crap.
Thank you, Jen.
Let's go. Who's better
Democratic
than that than
Congresswoman
you,
Cori
you piece of
Bush
shit?
is saying that she favors spending tens of thousands on private security to keep her safe, and that people should, quote, suck it up, defunding the police has to happen. Didn't President Biden say a few weeks ago?
She's like turning to the tabs in her notebook.
Oh, she's ready for it.
This is.
Oh, they know it. They know what the right wing talking. Well, that's Fox News. That's a
Look,
Fox
bro,
News talking point.
she's not even going to answer the question. She's going to divert it to something else.
They've got a whole team just dedicated to watching Fox News and any like liberal or conservative media, so that they're prepared for questions like this. And rarely are they caught off guard. And look at her prepared answer. Right.
Well, I think we shouldn't lose the forest through the trees here, which is that a member of Congress, an elected official, is concerned that her life is threatened, and that's disturbing, that any elected official would have to suffer death threats and fear for their life. So I'm not going to comment, of course, on their security arrangements. I don't have any more details on that, but I think we should start with that point first. I will say that the president has been crystal clear that he opposes defunding the police. He has said that throughout his campaign for office.
Pause real quick. Then why hasn't he like publicly announced something like, look, I don't support defund the police, not defund the police.
No, I don't want to take away the fun from the police. That's not what I'm saying. I want them to have fun.
Look.
I want them to laugh.
Look. We just want to be friends with you. Grab you by the arm and give you a kiss. Not grab you by the arm, but
But we do want to kiss you.
we're gonna kiss you. And would you rather me die?
His
So
record
Jen
over the
Psaki
last several
responds,
decades
keep
has
going.
made that clear. He has proposed increased funding for law enforcement and the COPS program, increased funding from his predecessor, who was, as you might note or be aware of, a Republican. So I'd note that his record is pretty clear on this. There may be some in the Democratic.
So press pause real quick. So does this mean Joe Biden is a racist? Because leftists all believe, or at least the majority that I've spoken to, that the cops were founded on racist principles. Therefore, if Joe Biden is not for defunding the police and for funding maybe even more the police, that means he is for racism because it started off with a racist ideology. So they voted in a racist.
He contradicts the far leftists that the right typically says he's aligned with. So he's trying to ride that line, right? Oh, I'm on your side. I'm sort of not on your.
Come on, man. There you
what
go.
are you talking about
Hey,
there,
we
Joe?
got that shit, Joe. What's up, bro?
We got another
Party
about
including
30 seconds
Congresswoman
left in
Bush
this
who
clip.
disagree with him. That's okay. But I would say the majority of Democrats, we've seen this in polling, and the majority of members also agree that we should not defund the police.
Is there a greater concern, though? I understand that's not the president's position, but is there a concern that defunding the police or suck it up, defunding the police has to happen might become a big Democratic message ahead of the midterms?
It does not appear to becoming a Democratic message, even though there might be a desire for that on the other side of the aisle.
Ooh, got him. No, you guys want that to happen. You guys want us to defund the police, but we don't. We don't. No, we don't. We don't. So speaking of the White House, so we're going to go down here to number 10 here. I found this just wonderful. This is the kind of good stuff that I just wish that you guys caught on camera that Donald Trump would do. Like the stuff that they try to say about Donald Trump. We've got 10 times more video now of Biden only in like 6 months time, 7 months time. It's the greatest. He's the greatest president we've ever had.
Damn right he is. Look, you know what the fuck's going on right now.
So here's a video where he was doing a press conference and he gets a little note. And so we'll commentate over this. Commentate? Go ahead. So, he's sitting there with his whatchamacallit just being just good old Sleepy Joe.
Being the good old Sleepy Joe he is.
It's not that it's loading. That's just him sitting there and just waiting there. That's him.
That's a part of the video.
This is actually going.
This is a part of the video. That's the way that the video was uploaded, was because they were trying to show you how long it was taking him to respond.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. All right.
See?
So it seems to be glitching out on us.
We're not even trying.
All right. We don't even have to watch the video. If you guys know what we're doing, maybe you can just Google Biden chin. But he got a sign that said, "Sir, you have something on your chin." And so you see him pick up that note and then immediately start going for his chin, and then happens to here we go. Now
local
we're in
governments.
here.
This issue
Kamala Harris
is
is
ongoing
talking. It
each
says,
year, as we
"Sir,
have discussed.
you have
It
something on your
gets
chin?"
worse. It
Finds
affects
it,
real
looks
people.
at it.
Everything from
Takes a
children who
little
are
nibble.
breathing
Yeah, that's pretty good.
and expanding.
All right.
And he's still reading the note?
Now you can see the thing on his chin. Now come on, man. I'm not gonna be a dick or anything and be like, oh, look at this fucking doddering old fool. Come on, man. This is great. This is funny stuff. I don't think it's bad or good. This clip, I just think it's in the realm of fun.
Well, I mean,
funny.
I mean, what CNN and many others did was blow the fuck up when Mike Pence had a fly on his forehead.
Oh, you know what?
I mean?
You're right. You're right about that. All right, so we got Peace saying, come on, man. Saying also, imagine being that smug as a redhead.
I know they already come off as not having a soul. You know what I mean?
That smug ass redhead. Is that what he meant to say? Okay. That's Biden. So let's go into Trump news. Let's even this out with some good stuff here.
Is he still alive?
He's still alive. And this comes from Yahoo.com. Excuse me. Trump is owed $1 million tax refund for a Chicago skyscraper, but local officials are trying to block it. So the only reason why they found that he owes he's owed $1 million
Was because they went after his taxes?
Am
I assuming?
Is this not a fucking... Look at that move right there. He's all like, hey, this is a man who y'all were just being the biggest dicks to. Now, I know the people that are watching this probably aren't the ones we're referring to in this, but a little bit more over a year and a half ago, we had someone who hated this guy on the show, who hosted the show, who was all about the tax returns. Oh, we're going to get the tax returns. We're going to find out. I'm like, to find out what? We're going to find out that he's been paying this and that, hasn't been paying his taxes. He's not paying his fair share. So this ruling means that Trump is owed $1 million refund, but local officials filed a lawsuit to stop it. Now, who's the one over here denying justice?
Bro.
The refund would come out of property taxes owed to the city and other agencies, including the Chicago Public Schools. Well, you guys shouldn't have tried to fucking open this box of worms here. Is it box of worms? Can of worms.
Can of worms.
Former President Donald Trump is owed a tax refund of $1 million for a Chicago skyscraper. An Illinois tax agency ruled last month that Trump paid too much. He paid too much on his 2011 tax bill after the value of Trump International Hotel and Towers rooms and retail space was overassessed. 2011, that's 10 years ago, man. It's not very, that's, come on, I want some recent stuff. I want to see those tax returns that show that he paid Vladimir Putin or something.
See, but look what they're doing there, right? They're saying giving him $1 million, no, but I bet you if it was to give this black lady security, they would say yes. You know what I mean? Who deserves it? He overpaid. He gave too much.
Imagine
this
if
other girl is just taking from the taxpayers.
Well, yeah, imagine if he had to actually owe that $1 million. Do you think they'd want that or not?
They would be fucking. He needs to pay it by this day. If not, he should go to jail and die.
Plus interest.
Plus interest.
Do you think that they pay interest back when you're owed $1 million?
I hope so.
No, that's right. That's right.
I hope so.
Let's see. They tried to block it. The Cooks County State Attorney since filed a
Oh,
lawsuit.
and look who it is. Kim Fox, the bitch who covered up Jesse Smollett.
Cook County State Attorney. Of course it's Kim Fox. Oh, what a freaking turd.
Come on, man.
Salary, $192,000. More like $193,000.
Bro, she looks like Wishbone with a wig on. You know who Wishbone is from Bone Thugs and Harmony?
Hey, by the way, bum, 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 bum.
Yeah, she looks like Wishbone, but with a wig on.
Yeah, he's Uncle Charlie. You know, he misses Charlie.
Hey, look, Mrs. Uncle Charles, y'all.
Let's see here. 2016. She's been in for a few years now. Anyways, Kim Fox, you know, the one who didn't want to investigate Jesse Smollett's fucking lie.
$192,000 salary. Damn.
Yeah. And tax free, by the way.
That's some good money right there,
Tax free,
bro.
by the way. I don't think they pay any tax. Do politicians have to pay taxes on their income?
Good motherfucking money right there, bro.
You think they would, right? But they're federal employees. Federal employees are getting paid taxes. So
Yeah,
who
but
are they
it's still
paying for
income.
their
Well,
taxes?
they're paying for what they get. Still income.
So they're
not
paid.
paying any taxes on the side deals that they're making.
Do politicians pay taxes?
Pretty sure they do. Why
Members of Congress pay income tax just like every other American. The U.S. tax code that states that everyone who receives revenue must pay an income tax. Ugh, I fucking hate income tax so much. It's so stupid. Well, so that money goes back. So they work for themselves as well.
Yeah.
Like, no, I pay my own bill. Like, when you yell at a politician, you're like, I pay your bill. She's like, I do too, motherfucker. I pay as much as you do.
I pay my shit too.
So that's not a really good argument to say to a cop either. Cops have to they pay taxes too. So
Yeah, but there would be no way for them to get paid if it wasn't for us.
what a weird cycle that they have. There.
Yeah, it's
So maybe they pay. Okay, so maybe the fire department pays for the police department. The police department pays for the hospitals or for the It's like this big circle, right? That's how it goes.
It's like you go and fucking go to Dave and Buster's and you buy their money. You can't survive off of Dave and Buster's money. It
well,
runs
by
out.
the way, Dave and Buster's was founded by Dave Chappelle and Buster Rhymes.
Oh yeah,
Dave and
that's true.
Buster's.
I thought you were gonna say it was a part of a fucking MK Ultra.
No, that's actually part of the Mandola effect.
The
Effect.
Mandola. That's my homie, Mandola.
Anyways, doesn't that seem funny here? The dispute is the latest development in the story of Trump's taxes in Chicago. Alderman Ed Burke, the longest-serving member of Chicago's city council in history, served as Trump's lawyer for more than a decade. His firm originally filed the tax appeal, arguing the value of Trump's building had been overestimated. Burke, a Democrat, of course, helped Trump secure a 14. It's like he works with Democrats too. You know, before 2002. Where was it? It was right before Obama.
Yeah.
He was a Democrat. And
I mean,
then he
he
was
wa-
burned by Obama.
He was talking
'Cause
a
it's
bit
racist.
before then, but
Let's see here. he helped Trump secure $14 million in tax breaks on a Chicago skyscraper before parting ways with Trump Company in 2018. Later that year, the FBI raided Berks County's City Hall office and was later charged with racketeering, bribery, and extortion, among other charges. Prosecutors say Burke used the power of his office to drive business to his law firm, including blocking permits. So that's why they're trying to block it, is because the lawyer that helped Trump pay too much tax was cheating or other things. So therefore, isn't the bottom line? Oh no, because he already received $14 million in tax breaks. Seems like he paid $1 million too much.
Yeah,
and so he needs to get that back.
Yeah.
So he's already. Anyways, I'm analyzing it too much when I don't need to. The bottom line here is just that stop relying on things or stop like thinking that this is going to burn Donald Trump and find the smoking gun that's going to put him away forever.
Because even at the end,
it's not there.
Because even at the end of the day, right? Let's say Trump did do that. Who is the one who's going to go to jail? Not him, that Burke guy. Who was the one that was handling the business? Not him.
That Burke guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was that Burke guy.
So go to number 12 when you get the chance.
It's
Oh.
But that's fucking hilarious that it's like, we're going to get you, Trump, and it's like, actually, you got to pay him.
All right. So this next story, and this is still within Trump here, and this is going to tie us into Olympics here. Trump encourages, this comes from NBC New York. Trump encourages GOP crowd to boo U.S. women's soccer team. And this was published July 24th, 2021. Former President Donald Trump, speaking at an election rally in Phoenix, smirked as a crowd booed the U.S. soccer team.
Wait, what?
Let's read that headline again. Trump encourages grand old party crowd to boo. Encourages conservatives to boo. And then here's the subheadline. Former President Donald Trump, speaking at an election rally in Phoenix, smirked as the crowd booed the U.S. women's soccer team. The former President Donald Trump says the U.S. women's soccer team, national soccer team's opening match loss at the Tokyo Olympics was a good example of wokeism causing people to lose. Causing people to lose. Can we watch his video? It's only a few seconds long.
Ruins your mind.
I do
and
miss
ruins
his
you
voice,
as
don't you guys?
Wokeism makes you lose.
Oh, you gotta
Ruins
unmute.
your mind and ruins you as a person. You become warped. You become demented. The U.S. women's soccer team is a very good example of what's going on.
It's a very good example of
Earlier
wokeism.
this week, they
what's going on.
unexpectedly lost to Sweden 3-0. And Americans were happy about it.
That's it. The headline was
But
Trump
first, we have
encourages GOP crowd to boo U.S. women's soccer team.
What?
Did you see any encouragement? He just goes,
What?
and he nods his head no. Like, no, don't do that. If he encourages it, I would think that it's like, come on, let's go, keep doing fucking
That
looked
looked more like he was ashamed for the country that like you know what I mean?
Isn't that about a bitch? In which I didn't get anything for the Olympics because first of all, the trans athlete, the weightlifter,
Yeah, the weightlifter
lost. Didn't even fucking lift. Couldn't lift. And you know the worst part is that there could have been an actual woman that could have gone, taken the place of it.
Yep.
The U.S. soccer team, the women's soccer team, they came back and they won their next match. And then they had to go up against Canada in the semifinals and lost to Canada.
To fucking Canada.
To
bro.
Canada.
We're the United States and we lost to Canada.
You know, I watched their win against who was it? It was their last match before Canada, and Susan Rapinoe, whatever her name is.
Trump's taking credit for people booing a woman's sport. That's like predicting the sunset.
Trump's taking credit for people booing at a women's sport. So yeah. So I was gonna mention this last match. I forget who it was against. I think it may have been Brazil or something. The U.S. soccer team. It came off to be a penalty kick, not penalty kick, but a kickoff, whatever they do, right?
Oh, yeah.
Free kicks. What do they call it?
Yeah.
It's like one-on-one goalie versus this, right? And Rapinoe fucking kicks it and gets the final one in, and then she comes out and the way she's like so arrogant, like fuck yeah, like look at me, man. I'm like, dude, I'm like such a coolest dude. I look like Justin fucking Bieber right now. I'm gonna get my fucking pussy sucked so hard tonight. I'm gonna scissor you so fucking hard tonight. And then to see her,
But we're not gonna produce a child because we can't.
If Trump told a crowd to cheer for a women's sport and they did, I would be impressed.
That's how you know how good Trump is.
All right. Anyways, what else are we gonna say? The woman who at the shot putting chick or whatever that. See, we don't even know her name. We don't even care because she's a loser. Literally, none of the woke athletes in the Olympics that made it to the Olympics won. So your hate for America.
But what
it's
about
like
that?
Let me just give you a little suggestion. Maybe if you spend a little more time doing the sport that you're good at instead of like thinking about wokeism, because this is what Donald Trump was saying in that thing. He goes, it leads to you being shitty.
Well, yeah, because
and there you go.
Because then you spend more time caring about that than actually developing the thing you should be working on, and you're trying to you want to gain your strength off this virtue signaling, off this woke ideology, and then you don't put that in, right? You're living a privileged life. You think you deserve this and you deserve that, and you're not working for anything anymore.
And nobody can agree on the right definition of it, and so therefore the division happens. And then look at Colin, what's his name?
Kaepernick.
Kaepernick. He's not going to work again.
No.
You know who did come back after retiring? Tim Tebow came back, and they're like, "Oh, fuck a white privilege." You're like, when was the last time that Tim Tebow fucking did anything
not just
controversial?
That. With Kaepernick, the reason that they were going to give him a shot, and he didn't want to go. He wanted them to come, and they were like, "Fuck you." Like Tim Tebow went out and tried and did this. He was like, "Oh, you got to come." Like, how arrogant do you have to be? No, you come to me.
Well, they gave him a camp day to show up,
Yeah.
and then like an hour before it was supposed to start, he had set up his own. It was like, no, y'all have to come to me, and they were just like, no, this is a fucking joke.
Yeah,
he's not.
Who the fuck? You're not even that good.
Yeah,
you're not even that good. I'm better than fucking Kaepernick, bro. Get Kaepernick's afro ass over here, and I bet you I could outplay him.
I could throw a football over those mountains.
You damn right, bro. Fucking make him cry easy.
Coach should have put me in.
Let's go to number 13 here.
Talk about Muggsy Bogues. I'll take on Kaepernick, bro.
Boy, we're running through a bunch of the news today. This is just a bunch of stuff that we needed to get to. And that was from 2 weeks ago, boys. July 24th. This one is unbelievable. And this one goes, it's perfectly right here in the running segment that we have called All Teachers Are Bastards. ATAB.
All teachers are bastards.
NCRT assholes. If you guys can make us a drop, that'd be cool. So this comes from the Daily Wire. And teacher told students to hide. Do we have a funny comment here? Kaepernick would whoop your ass, Mario.
Who's Mario?
You're Mario.
Are you Mario?
Look at you, got the hat and the mustache.
Look, bro. First of all, Kaepernick wishes
Mario.
he could, bro. I could whoop the shit out of Kaepernick day and night, bro. I could do it in my motherfucking sleep, bro. Come on. You kidding me? I'm from the hood, bro. Kaepernick is.
Click below. Who do you think would win in a fight? Kaepernick or David?
First
Make
of
that
all,
a TikTok.
Kaepernick is tall. I could easily go Goldberg on him and do the jackknife. You know what I mean? Goldberg when he would just run and just tackle him. Come on, man. Kaepernick, that's a little girl right there. Kaepernick.
Okay.
I'm gonna cap his nicks. Oh, you don't know me like that, son.
Oh, shit. Take it easy. Let's see. Teacher told students, this comes from the Daily Wire. Teacher told students to, quote, to hide, quote, equity survey from parents. Fourth grader says this, and mom fires back. Equity is the mask that critical race theory hides behind. Let's roll down here and read a little bit of this here. After fourth grade Minnesota girl told her school board that her teacher asked her to hide the fact that she was forced to take an equity survey from her mother. Then her mother went on national TV to blast organizations that impose their equity agenda on children, firing equity is the mask that critical race theory hides behind. Haley Yasgar told the Sartell St. Stephen School District Board, "My name is Haley Yasgar. I was in 4th grade at Riverview Bamba. I went to the school board. How good." Anyway, she says that basically what I just read to you. She was told to not tell her mother about these questions, this survey that the teacher gave her. Not part of the school curricula because CRT is not taught in schools. The school district had hired the left-wing Equity Alliance Minnesota to conduct an $80,000 audit on racial inequities within the school district. An audit. Can you imagine? It's like, have you ever heard of just made up? Like, I wish you can charge and get paid $80,000 for an audit on racial inequities. And, yeah, we're gonna find them. Hey, tell you what, we have a new business coming here. This is Emergency Exit Racial Inequities program that we're working on here, where we'll come to your place and you pay us $80,000, and we'll tell you how you're racist. Yeah, no, it's easy. What we'll do is we'll give you a survey. Don't tell your mom you're taking it, and you just answer these questions like, what gender do you feel you identify with? Oh, and if you don't know what that means, don't worry. Just go ahead and, we'll tell you what that means. Don't ask your mom. But we got this, okay?
But what's the slippery slope between this and what's the word? Grooming. You know what I mean? We've seen those TV shows back in the day.
It depends on what you're grooming them for life outside of school.
Well, no, not just that, but you're saying hide this from your parents.
Yeah,
right?
that should be raising all sorts of red flags. The fact that anybody is
an
asking
adult
a child to hide this, whatever that may be, it doesn't matter. The fact that they're doing that, I thought the same thing.
Yep.
Like, man, that does sound a lot like grooming.
Yeah.
Like, it's a little scary.
Well, I just remember watching TV shows as a kid and just thinking about how there is always that character in some of these episodes. I'm thinking about what's the one with what's the name with what you talking about, Willis?
Different Strokes.
Different Strokes, yeah. And there's that episode where he goes to this guy's game room and it's like, oh, don't tell your parents. And every one of those stories start off that way. Don't tell your parents, don't tell your parents. This is literally how it's starting off. Like, these are the same people who allow drag queen story time. You know what I mean? The same ideology is what allowed drag queen story time. How do we know with this kind of language is very pedophilic? That's all I'm saying.
I wouldn't go that far, dude, but it's a little too far, the pedophilia stuff.
I mean, bro, have you
talk about pedophilia like the left talks about like white supremacy.
No, you know why I talk about it? Because it's all over the movie industry. It's all over with abortions. Look, bro, look at the movie industry and how much pedophilia is going on in that. And look at the same ideology they push. Same ideology is being pushed over here.
Anyways, this...
I understand, dude. You're over here trying to make it seem like, oh, well, that's crazy talk and you're blowing out of proportion. No, it's not. It's true. But you know what? The thing is, when you bring it up, they make it seem as if
How
you're
about
crazy.
just a shred of evidence that they're like pedophilia is going on?
I can, but will you look at the evidence?
Yeah, of course I will. Why wouldn't I look at the evidence? I mean,
because
you can tell me maybe like one person like Corey Feldman came out and said a bunch of that shit, right? Like, of course, yeah, maybe we can consider that, but why aren't more going out and saying it? It takes a few more to come out.
So many actors. Britney Spears, what is she just saying? What is she talking about? So many people are saying, look at what's going on as me as a child actor. So many people are.
Britney Spears is out of her goddamn mind, and a court had gone over all the people of the court, like all this free Britney bullshit. You guys are stupid, and you guys don't know anything about the facts. Neither do I. But the bottom line is that there was a court that knew all the facts and decided that she's not capable. Do you guys remember when she shaved her head? She got a mental breakdown. She's not capable of holding her own money, which is fine. She doesn't lose any money. She just doesn't have any control of it at the moment, which is fine. Doesn't mean she needs to be on her own. Like, imagine this. Why are we letting a crazy person go on their own? Don't you think if we cared about this person, we would make sure that her money's safe? Maybe she's spending erratically. Well, we don't know what the circumstances are, but the facts and evidence were revealed in a court, which we don't know about. and the court decided on.
Well, again, and you're basing your judgment off of her. Again, I'm not trying to stand up for Britney at all, but I'm
yeah,
saying,
right. Show me your new tattoo.
I'm saying you're basing this.
It says right here, free Britney.
You're basing that off of someone else's opinions of what they judged for her. Again, and that's the thing. Yeah, you could say that we're going in circles, but what I'm saying is look at all the child stars that have come out and said this is what's going on in the back doors of Disney, Nickelodeon, and all these other programs. Just look at how many people. Hold on. Just look at how many people have been fired from the movie industry who have been convicted for pedophilia and then rehired. Look at how many people in Disney who have been convicted for pedophilia and rehired on TV shows. I think one of them was The Sweet Life of Whatever and Whatever. So many of them. So you tell me, why are they having so many pedophilic conviction people working in the movie industry and hiding
Maybe the definition of pedophilia has been so skewed that you're thinking just because there's something that seemed inappropriate that is inappropriate. Maybe there wasn't anything. Maybe you don't know what's going on there.
I'm going exactly with what your argument just was with look how crazy Britney is because the court said it. And the court is saying all these dudes are pedophilia or are pedophilic and they're being hired.
Well, okay. The only difference
I'm
is,
going with your argument. So I'm saying
if you're going with my argument, I haven't heard of one example of someone getting busted for pedophilia and then going back into the same roles.
All right, well, I'll send you a few articles.
I can tell
you can Google this right now.
Because I can tell you a good example of maybe that may help your support, but doesn't help you in anything. The dad from Beetlejuice. What's his name that we've been watching on the rewatch? The dad on the principal from Ferris Bueller. That guy literally got busted for fucking child pornography. And hitting on 17-year-old boys or whatever. That guy didn't work another day in his life. So who are these other people that you're talking about that are pedophiles, convicted, and then are still working for Disney?
Directors, producers.
I'd like to see some names, some sources.
Go for it. Yeah,
but Jeffrey Jones, that's right. This guy, Jeffrey Jones.
That guy?
Yeah.
He played Satan in Stay Tuned.
Yeah, and he got busted for shit. I don't think it'll have anything. Maybe it does. Yeah, look at this. November 2002, after being accused of hiring a 14-year-old boy to pose for sexually explicit photographs, Jones was charged with one felony count of employing a minor for purposes of taking sexually explicit photos and a misdemeanor count of possessing child pornography and released on $20,000 bail. In July 2003, after pleading no contest to felony charge, he was placed on the sex offender list register and given 5 years of probation. Disney under fire for hiring convicted pedophiles to work on kids shows by Megan Fox. PJ Media. Okay, it says, it seems like everyone is noticing the glare of blah, 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 blah. After Disney, this is a Secret Life of Cody. After Brian Peck's arrest and conviction, Disney, which is owned by ABC, hired him to work on the show. What did he actually get busted for? Can you find what he actually got busted for? Let's see what we got here. This comes from at Peace Too Far. Ian says, I just saw they busted some Disney dudes for that. Okay, so that's what you're trying to say. I worked in fire EMS. Pedophiles are everywhere. I worked in fire EMS. Pedophiles are everywhere. Oh, man. Well,
John Healy, a long-term employee of the family entertainment company, was arrested on 3 counts of lewd and lascivious acts on a child, according to Variety. Healy, 58, is Santa Clarita, is accused of abusing 2 underage girls and one whom was 11 years old and approximately 10 years old. So this guy, the Disney employee include people from management, a concierge, a tour guide, and a ticket seller. Disney has downplayed the arrest and citing that the theme park is so large. So it just goes on and on. There's so many people. It's insane, dude.
Third trial dismissed for former Disney executive charged with does it say he's charged with it? But did he get charged? I mean, convicted of it? Because it says right here he was it was dismissed. Third trial dismissed.
It says was arrested.
Yeah, you can still be arrested and all that stuff, and then you go to trial, and then you have to prove your innocence. Sounds like he proved his innocence. Seems like
how?
Okay, well, let's see. Let's read it here. A third trial for a Cygnus Disney executive charged with sexually assaulting 2 children over the course of 6 years was dismissed Tuesday, officials said. The retrial was set for Jonathan Blake Healy, 58, because of the first and second juries were unable to reach a verdict unanimously. On Tuesday, the court dismissed the case, according to Ricardo Santiago. The defense was asked the court to dismiss the case. People opposed the motion. The court dismissed it. Healy was suspended from Disney upon the company being informed of the charges. Allegations outlined the timeline, abuse, blah, blah, blah. Healy's alleged to have willfully, unlawfully, and lewdly committed a lewd and lascivious act upon blah, blah, blah kids. The complaints identified. So he wasn't convicted of anything. That's the difference. I don't know what the legality is. If two juries can't come up, are that divided,
So another
just
one,
gets
Disney
thrown out?
rehires NAMBLA pedophile loser director James Gunn to make movies for kids. James Gunn, who thinks that
he was never convicted of any pedophile. He made a pedophile joke or two. That's their harp on him. I'm still waiting for a good example of a pedophile that was convicted in a court and got his job back at Disney. Because the one example I gave you, that man never worked another day in his life. He's sitting at home jerking off to Disney fucking Channel right now.
Yeah, no, but yeah, you're absolutely right. But why does this attract that kind of person? Not just that, right? And I'm going even to the things that we've talked about with the child's cartoons and the drag queen story time. It isn't just, oh, look at the people who work here and they're getting convicted. Oh, wow, what a coincidence. But they're for that ideology. They're promoting drag queen story time when the people who have been a part of it have been convicted pedophiles and a part of it. And they're also for the oh yeah, you let your kids touch yourself and let's make cartoons where your kids learn these things. It's not just oh well this happened, what a coincidence, let's brush. It's why is this being festered there?
Well, I think you equate it all too much. Like there's actual pedophilia. You know, we used to say on this show there was this radio station owner in Arizona. And maybe, Brandon, if you can Google this real quick, the Arizona radio station owner who went on his air, he went on his own airtime, said that he revealed ways of how to hide your child porn on your thing because we live in America and we can do whatever we want or something like that. And because this guy was a mega millionaire, yes, look at this. Arizona, we read this back when it was like news. It was still news here. I guess just press the play button and listen to this. A radio station owner tells listeners how to hide child porn on computers. Oh, I hope there's no commercial here. That'd be great. There's no. It's just a. Anyway, scroll down. Maybe you'll find it some more here. This is a. Maybe find a different video here. Okay, we don't have to. Anyways. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so my point about mentioning this guy is that when and this guy's a mega rich guy. When you're rich and you have everything you possibly can get, everything you possibly can want, at some point, the things that used to excite you just don't anymore. Therefore, you always find the most extreme. You start finding the most extreme thing to do.
You get depraved.
You get depraved.
Yeah.
And so when you have that much money, I can see how it can be possible how some of these dudes are into that pedophilia stuff.
Not just dudes, women.
Oh, you know, and that seems to be more accepted.
The Ghislaine Maxwell.
Like think about what was the movie we watched on the rewatch where there was a young girl, there was a young boy, but then there was an older like babysitter who was kissing him or something, right? Or
I don't know about that.
Or the kid leans in to kiss her and she's all like, oh, but like imagine if that was twisted around somehow. If that was a little girl and then the male babysitter and then the girl kisses him, would you feel the same way? Anyway.
Yeah, and it's weird how
I digress.
Yeah, we got to move on to whatever we have next, but I agree with what you're trying to go with.
I don't think I want to go with anything else except for this last one here. This is not numbered. This is MAGA, a MAGA porn star. You know there's porn stars out there, and some of them are fucking Trump supporters.
I mean, so was Stormy Daniels.
She definitely is not a fan of him now. This comes from the Daily Beast here.
I'm telling you, she's not a fan of Michael Avenatti. I'll say that much.
MAGA's biggest porn star, Brandy Love, got kicked out of a conservative conference, and she's pissed. Holy conspiracy, Batman. The veteran adult actress talks
No
about
way.
being booted from Turning Point USA's conference in Tampa for being a porn star, and Candace Owens attacks against her. Brandy Love is the most famous MAGA porn star on the planet. The adult industry veteran boasts 831,000 videos in her lifetime. I'm just kidding. Followers on Twitter, has starred in hundreds of XXX films, penned the book Getting Wild Sex from Your Conservative Woman, and is a columnist for The Federalist. She enthusiastically supports Donald Trump and loads Antifa, BLM, and the Squad.
Can I just say, how ironic is it that this is almost the same thing as Brandy Max from Parks and Recreation?
Right. Except that she's not trying to run for anything.
I
She
know,
may, though.
but literally the same name.
Love.
Almost.
And maybe that's what they're going for. Love, because she would have probably still been working porn back then, too. Love, 48, has attended a number of panels during Turning Point USA's Student Action Summit in Tampa, Florida, where she discovered that her VIP badge had been revoked and she was no longer allowed to attend the event. Quote, as a matter of policy, TPUSA does not allow adult entertainers, influencers, or brands to participate in its events designed for minors. End quote, TPUSA spokesman Andrew Colvitz said in a statement. Former TPUSA communications director Candace Owens, a prominent far-right performance artist, only the best reporting from Daily Beast, also took aim at Love on her political podcast. Candace, quote, this was great. I mean, this is exactly right. This is a conference for minors. I have a bigger question. What was she doing there? End quote, asked Owens on her show, adding, quote, anything that is antithetical against ethics, to family values, and not conservative, quote, end quote, is inspiring the neo-Nazi Christchurch mosque shooter, antithetical. I'm like tripping over my fat ass tongue over here.
Fat ass tongue.
My fat ass tongue. Antithetical to family values. You be the judge. So, okay, wait a minute.
Wow, that's kind of, I mean.
This is reporting right here. So she's getting mad at, Candace Rowan's saying exactly right. This is a conference for minors. I have a bigger question. What's she doing there?
Mm-hmm.
Anything that is antithetical to family values is not conservative. And then this writer says, is inspiring the neo-Nazi Christchurch mosque shooter antithetical to family values? You be the judge. Inspiring who?
That was, yeah.
Dude, this writing's so shitty. And my reading's even shittier. Of course, both Colvin and Owens claims that the Student Action Summit was an event designated for minors is irrelevant. Its website, it says it's primarily intended for students between the ages of 15 and 26, and that adults are welcome to attend. Love wasn't performing at the event, merely attending. By that logic, Brandy Love shouldn't be allowed to shop at Toys R Us because of her chosen profession, which is absurd. By that logic...
First of all, Toys R Us doesn't even exist anymore. What the fuck are you talking about?
And second, by that logic, that doesn't even work with that logic. She's not... Okay, a conservative event for minors, or what they say, that doesn't want adult entertainers, because conservatives are not into pornography because it's sex out of wedlock or whatever you guys believe in. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking care.
Wait, what? It says also it's more than a bit hypocritical for TPUSA and Owens to praise Donald Trump, who has appeared in multiple softcore porn films,
conducted at least one affair with a porn star, and has been accused of sexual misconduct by another, while shaming Love. I reached out to Love, who I have interviewed in the past, about the whole strange ordeal, including how she feels about TPUSA and its co-founder Charlie Kirk. The other co-founder, Bill Montgomery, died of COVID last year after the organization openly mocked mask wearing. What the fuck? Do people read this shit? Can you talk me through why you wanted to attend the TPUSA? As a conservative, over the past couple of years, the last couple of years have been a dystopian nightmare for me. Riots, lockdowns, mask mandates, election integrity issues, suspended liberties, etc. As an American, regardless of political affiliation, it's been equally horrific. COVID, human isolation, family tragedies, bukakis, and more. We were told about the TPUSA conference by a known political consultant who has worked on everything from the Republican presidential campaigns to local school board elections. I have a young adult in college. Oh, I guess she's got a kid. I have a young adult in college and have seen firsthand what goes on. Could you imagine? You don't tell what your mom is. You've never brought one of your buddies home. That's the bottom line, too. Could you imagine you have your buddies and you're like, I'm just not going to tell them who my mom is. We're never going to talk about it. But if they find out one day, you'll never trust them again because you know they're jacking off to your mom.
Or they're trying to go over to your house without you knowing. So they, oh, is Tom here?
Yeah, they think that they're going to get later.
He's not. Well, can I just wait for him inside?
You're like, dude, go the fuck home. She's not going to fuck you. Go fucking home. I just want to try,
Yeah,
man.
I just want to, you know,
She did once on that one video that I watched.
Over?
Let's see. The TPUSA mission seemed positive and solid when Charlie Cook reminded me of a young Tucker Carlson or Ben Shapiro. Well-spoken, sharp mind, and unusual ability to not only recall stats and information, but to also pivot on a dime from topic to topic.
Wait, are they talking about me here?
No, you are not.
What?
You've failed horribly with the pedophiles thing today, my friend.
I have not failed horribly.
Horribly. You're one example, which I would have given you. Dismissed in court, not convicted.
Yeah, but not dismissed on any factual things. It was just because they couldn't decide.
Hey, well, Donald Trump is alleged to have sexually harassed women.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you believe the women? What about
I'm-
Tara Reid?
Well, you know what? That one.
What about Brett Kavanaugh? What about Christy Blasey Ford?
Wasn't there pictures of Tara Reid?
Yeah, she did work for. Everything about her story can be corroborated.
No.
Like, her story's more believable than Christy Blasey
That's
Ford's.
true.
And we had a whole Supreme Court fucking hearing over this shit.
That
It was
was,
crazy.
yeah.
Anyways, so she went there, and what her reasoning was is that, dude, you know, a lot of fucking college-age students watch my videos. And if they saw that, I'd be going. And so, yeah, somebody said, I have to wonder, Brandy, if you came to the TPUSA event dressed as a normal conservative woman or like a porn star. I think it matters to me if, depending on how you're treated. This is how she dressed. If you can scroll down to her, she looks just like a big-titted MILF, dude. In some sort of tracksuit. Doesn't look like she's a hooer at all.
A hooer?
Yeah, she's no hooer. She's got a Michael Kors dress. I think it's down a little bit. Maybe you're not. Yeah, I guess that's not going up for you.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah. Anyways.
Oh, it's on the bottom, but oh no, that's not it.
It don't matter anyways. So that was her reasoning. And so the theme, here's the best part. The theme of this TPUSA event was like no censored anymore. Can anyone find out what it was? Cancel culture. Let me I don't want to read this whole goddamn thing here. Yeah, I know I kind of have, but I don't want to continue reading the rest of it. Anyways, you know how they're talking about lately they're talking about censoring and conservatives being censored, and therefore they kick a conservative off of their platform, essentially. How do you feel about that? Should she have been kicked off of that platform?
I don't know. I mean,
toilet paper.
Like, I understand where they're coming from, because it's like they don't want to give the wrong impression
to kids, yeah.
But at the same time, she wasn't there to promote any, like, she was going as a person, you know what I mean? And just for me, like, if I meet somebody who's a drug dealer or who is a crack addict, I don't dismiss them or anything. Like, I would receive them. Like, let's say we were at church and there's a crackhead who wanted to come in. I wouldn't say, oh, you can't come to church. I'd be like, no, come on in. You know what I mean? Like, you're not there to talk about crack. And everybody, look, guys, I got crack, and y'all should buy it. You know what I mean? He's there as a person looking to receive.
Yeah, they shouldn't have kicked her out. I mean, imagine if TPUSA it was a church.
Yeah,
you wouldn't kick.
You know what
points
TP stands for?
Toilet paper.
Todo puto, bro.
Todo puto
Todo
USA.
puto, bro. Todo puto USA.
As much as I like Charlie Kirk, I think this is a lowbrow move,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's shitty. And I'm not a fan of Candace Owens. Like, as much as I like that she's a black conservative, I don't feel like she's actually, like, I don't know. Maybe she is. Maybe she believes it more than I do.
She's a hit or miss. Like with Candace Owens, like she says things where I'm like, there you go. And then I will see something else where I'm like, no.
Well, she talks like Matt Walsh kind of talks, and I like Matt Walsh, so maybe I should like Candace Owens. Maybe I just don't like her because she's black. Thank you guys for listening to
Wow.
another show. We're out of here. That's it. We really appreciate you guys hanging out with us. So next week we're gonna be hanging out with the Who's on Call boys. So
Who's on call?
I don't have to write a show, right? I don't have to gather any stuff. We're gonna be shooting the shit for an hour, man. That's gonna be great. All right, so next week we'll see you guys on the same bat channel, same bat time. For Brendan the Heart.